Plant-based morning show. It's Thursday, June 1st. My favorite day of the week, still Thursday. I love Thursdays. Um, I got another great sleep last night. I shouldn't say a great sleep. But that's 2 nights in a row of decent sleep. And I'm pretty excited. I got this new putting the socks on strategy when you wake up at night, and that seems to be, for now, working. So it's a good thing. Anyway, we're going to bring Doug in here in a minute. In the meantime, we will allow people to enter the YouTube show, of which there's currently only one person. So let's see what happens here today. There we go. Now they're starting to arrive. Okay. Doug being added. We're brought to you, as always, by Compliment. LoveCompliment.com. Plant-based supplements, plant-based nutrients, plant-based lifestyle aids, and just good stuff over there. Of course, the sale was last week, so you already missed that. So
you should wait around
Wait till Black
6
Friday.
months or so until the next
Yeah, wait till Black Friday.
No, don't do that. The sock strategy, Matt. For anyone who wasn't listening for the 5 minutes like a week and a half ago, what is the sock strategy for better sleep?
Yeah, it's that when you wake up at night, and I guess in theory this would work when you go to sleep as well. You put on socks, and I don't know why you don't put on gloves, because the rationale is that dilation of blood vessels in your extremities, for some reason, triggers sleepiness in your body, and it causes you to fall asleep. Much like the coldening of the temperature, lessening of the temperature for the rest of your body. So I don't really understand why hands and feet are different. Don't understand why you don't put gloves on. But the socks, it's working for me right now. It's a placebo, maybe.
But you don't want to go to sleep with them on. You want to put them on when you wake up in the middle of the night.
That's what I don't know. It seems like it would help you also just fall asleep. But a lot of people don't like sleeping with socks on. I know, and I don't really either. But I don't know. It's worked okay for me. So that is that. So that's that. Not too much else going on. Went to a brewery yesterday. Got myself a beer. Because we've been driving for these. Holden has these extra soccer games and practices now that he's on this new team, and they're like an hour away, the things, and they're at like 5 or 6:30 or in that area, and I just can't risk driving through town at that hour, because it could take 2 hours instead of 1 hour to get up there.
Yeah.
So I end up leaving at like 3:30. And what do you do when you get somewhere an hour early? You go to a brewery.
Grab a beer.
Yeah. So I did that yesterday. So that was a good time.
What were you drinking?
I got the Belgian wit beer at this place. Try to go for the low alcohol options. Much as I do like
Blue
those.
Moon. Should have gotten that Blue Moon.
Yeah, right. Maybe that was on my mind. Yeah. Blue Moon is a Belgian wit style. But yeah, no, they didn't make Blue Moon at this brewery. They made that style of beer. This wasn't Coors Brewery. So anyway, it was good. Just got that and a little popcorn, and I was good.
Nice. Well, I didn't really have much of an eventful evening yesterday. I did go on my final practice loop of the race I have this weekend. Because it's local, I can run the course all the time, and it is this timed loop where you just repeat a 3-mile loop, a 5K loop. So I went and ran one final one yesterday to see what kind of condition the course was in. It's good. I'm stoked. Did a whole little mental walkthrough the whole time I was out there. It's good.
Wow. This is serious race preparation.
I know. It feels like it. I think maybe because I had a long time. And I'm just also excited. I decided yesterday I'm really going to go for it. I'm going to go big and try to, because I was looking at previous year's finishes and seeing like what it would take to get in the top 5 or so. And I think if I have a good day, I can do it.
Top 5 or win?
Well, be competitive.
Okay.
And if based on the last 2 years, if I have a good day, I can do it. And so I'm just going to go for it. And if it blow up and it's terrible, then that's that. At least I went for it,
Yeah, cool. I like this. I mean, I've never. I guess you always put preparation into races. I've certainly never gone to a course before the race even once.
So I wouldn't if it wasn't just like,
right. That's true. Right. But you've already run this course at least 1 year, right? Maybe 2. Lost Doug from Restream. So he'll hopefully rejoining here in a second. Doug, maybe you can hear me on Instagram still. I think you can. but I can't hear you until you come back on Restream. So we'll just hit pause really quick, everyone. I could put up the little graphic that counts down 30 seconds while we wait to resume. But instead of that, I won't. I'll just talk. Let's see. What was I going to tell? What I was going to say, and maybe Doug can keep hearing me. He won't miss anything. Is that my wife Erin just shared with me a picture this morning from 10 years ago today. That was me running this very race Doug is talking about. I was doing the 12-hour version because I think, I'm twice the runner that Doug is. So I was doing the 12-hour version. He was doing the 6, and he is doing the 6. And that's that. It was me and my son. And he was like one of the, you go around the loop and then every 3 miles you would catch up with family. So my family was there for a little while, ran with my son for a minute. And that was that. Okay, Doug has stood up from his computer. He's no longer even visible on Instagram. I'm not sure what's going on at all. Are you able to re-enter the Restream area? Oh, Doug. Maybe I should plug into Instagram for a second. Doug, I can hear you now, I think. Hey. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and do that. All right. So for those who can't hear Doug, which is everyone on YouTube, he is going to reset his internet. His whole internet has gone out, so he's on Instagram because he's connected there by phone. But his internet is out, so he's resetting that. So he will be back in a few minutes. So the question is, what do we do in the meantime? I could put up this little graphic that will count us down for 1 minute, but that's not going to be enough time, I don't think. We're going to need more than that. So we also just turn it all off. I don't want to do that. So how about I'll just say hi to who's here today, and we'll see what's up. We'll see what's going on. Jeff Hudnall's here. Guy I know from real life. Met at a race once. Phyllis Hauser, our new YouTube person, leaves got lots of good comments. Anne Marie, who I correspond with often. She, I think, is a Masters tennis player, triathlete, Ironman, I believe. So I'm giving little bios here of everybody. Lucy B, I don't know a whole lot about, I don't think. Unfortunately, I wish I did. Dale Stevens and Lucy B, very frequent guests. Jill Plant-Powered Pantry. Lady Draws a Lot. Mr. Jeffrey, of course, we all know him. Kelly K. I don't know if I don't recognize Kelly K's name. But hello, Kelly. Kate, a.k.a. Rivercat. Jill wants to know about sleep updates. I can definitely do that. If that's what we want to do for the next few minutes, that is zero effort, very light lift for me to talk about sleep because I do that all the time. D want to know Adventure Coach and Sarah Slip. Lots and lots of regulars. Good to see everybody. Sleep updates. I've been wearing my Oura Ring again. You can see that there. And I've also been wearing it for activity tracking and all that. That actually was the main reason no, that's not. That's why I recently started paying attention more to it. Put on for activity tracking. So I'm trying to get in more activity than just the daily weight training. We'll talk a bit about working out later today if Doug's internet gets working again. But I've been trying to encourage myself with whatever cues I can to just do more movement throughout the day, not just be sit still all day and then go work out for 40 minutes and then sit still again. So I'm trying to get in more walks, runs, and things like that. But that's beside the point. The sleeping, I've just been trying with different things. I had this back problem that happened from kettlebell training, from kettlebell swinging incorrectly for a year and a half. And it wasn't any kind of acute issue. It was just this chronic thing that got worse and worse because of, I think, a form issue. But anyway, that is still bothering me when I sleep, and it wakes me up a lot. So that is that's my big hurdle right now. Everything else I think is working really well. This staying up late is especially important for me. But anyway, it's that's that. So it's working. I'm making progress, going in the right direction. Thank you for asking. Doug's back. Doug, you're
back.
Okay, good. You look a little grainy the way you did moments before you failed a few minutes ago. So hopefully it's not unstable, but we'll just have to deal with it.
We will just have to deal with it. Can you hear me okay, though?
Yeah, sounds good.
Good.
Mr. Jeffrey says, are we recording any NMA this week? We don't have plans to record NMA this week, but we will do that soon.
We should. Early next week, I'd say.
Yeah, except for I'll be in Kansas City, so you'll be on your own for that one.
No, not going to
happen. We've also been talking yesterday about No Meat Athlete emails, text content, getting back to some sort of regularity with that, and it's on our list. We're It's in our consciousness. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Nice teaser there. That's good.
All right. Emery says, have I tried some yoga stretches for my back? Yes, I've tried a lot of stuff for my back. I've tried therapy. I do a whole lot of foam rolling. I do the Theragun, all that stuff. And I am making progress. It's very interesting back issue. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but it seems to be like all referred pain from a piriformis issue, which is good, not a spine issue. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. Mr. Jeffrey says, that's that. I think maybe I've said that's that a lot, 5 times today. Good. Happy to know that.
Another drinking game for
yeah,
for our listeners here.
Right.
It's good. Hey Matt, I did happen to hear that little dig that you're twice the runner I am.
Yeah, I didn't mention the time that you won the 24-hour version.
yeah.
Anyway, but it was 10 years ago today. I didn't realize that. It was 95 degrees,
cool.
very hot. And man, I went way too fast in the first half of that race. And then I started just walking loops basically it felt like the second half. I don't know. I was thinking I'd get 62 miles in that day. That was my goal. And I ended up with like 52 probably because I crashed hard. That was also the day I started eating dates for the first time and saying, I'm only going to eat dates. It's my only food, like Michael Arnstein or like somebody. And it didn't. I got so sick of dates after 17 miles or something. It was a long time till I ate dates again after that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Leslie says she's watching from Croatia. Just got to our hotel, got Wi-Fi, got notification. It's 5 p.m. here. Wow, very good.
First thing you do when you arrive in Croatia, plant-based morning show.
First thing I would do for sure.
I've always really wanted to go to Croatia. We almost went there for our honeymoon.
People like it there. Is it the Diamond Coast? Is that what it's called? Where I guess it's on the Aegean Sea. Yeah, I'm sure it's nice over there. And Greece too. I'd like to get to Greece, but
definitely
haven't yet. All right. Well, a little bit of a delay there. I had one more pre-show bit, Doug, I wanted to bring up with you.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
I saw there's a new hack the TikTokers are doing, and so you know it's got to be good. A new food hack. It involves McDonald's hash browns, which I don't recall if those are vegan or not, or if they are like McDonald's fries, not vegan because they somehow have beef tallow or some sort of weird, ingredient in them. What they're doing is they're spreading they're getting an Oreo McFlurry and taking the ice cream and spreading that on the hash browns, and then making a sandwich with it. So they have an ice cream sandwich where the bun or whatever it is
is hash brown.
Is hash brown, and it's ice cream in the middle. So I don't know if the McDonald's thing is vegan or not, like I said, but we know tater tots are vegan. And I was thinking if you were interested, you could make you could just at least dip the tater tots in ice cream and have a taste of what this might be like. Get some Oatly or something, and give it a try. So I don't know. Are you open to that?
I'm 100% open to that. Yeah. Yeah. So my jam back in the day, which I think was everybody's jam, was the Wendy's, what was it? The Frosty, and you take fries and you dip your fries in the Frosty. I think a lot of people did that. Maybe not.
This article mentioned fast food lovers doing that in general, just dipping fries in milkshakes.
Yeah, so you got your potato in the milkshake thing already, and I'm a fan of that. So why not a hash brown or a tater tot in a soft serve? Sure, sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, I'm not opposed to it. No, maybe in principle I am opposed to it. In theory, it sounds like it'd be good because I get it. This salt, sweet, always good together. You get crispiness from the potato. You get smooth ice cream. I mean, it sounds like it would be good. It's also just one of those things that I just don't like when people do. Don't like when you do it. So I can't really get behind it. But maybe you could.
I don't know about the hash brown sandwich though, because then they're either going to be cold hash browns or you're going to be putting in a hot hash brown and it'll melt like crazy.
That's a good point.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I like the dipping much better than the sandwich. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. I think I'd be more likely to try a nice little dip than that. Yeah, okay, good. Well, just saw that. Didn't want to put that in the weather report or talk give it a full rundown, but figured it was worth it.
So have you noticed the trend? at least on Instagram and just like everywhere. I think this like the fast food hacks or whatever, fast food secret menu stuff that's happening everywhere. I bet that it is so annoying to work in a restaurant right now because everyone's coming in saying like, "Hey, make me one of those hash brown sandwiches, ice cream sandwiches." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?"
I bet nearly zero people are doing that. I bet it's just you see it on Instagram. No one actually does it in real life. That'd be my
Oh, you
guess.
don't think so? I bet I don't know. I bet a bunch of teenagers, little tweens get dropped off at the movie theater, then walk over to
Maybe, yeah,
McDonald's.
that's true. I probably would have
Mhm.
done that when I was
Oh yeah,
in that
100%.
age.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't even know that was a new thing. I thought, I mean, I see those when I do the show research planning. I see about these hacks and these trends and things.
Uh-huh.
I thought that maybe I was just becoming aware of it now that I was doing research for
No,
this
I think it's like I think it's a thing right now.
secret menus hacks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's so stupid. All right, good. Well, that is. I'm not gonna say that's that. That's a bit of thing that we did before the show began. Okay. Here we go. Getting to our weather report. Getting to seriousness here. Real serious news now. June 1st, Plant-Based Morning Show weather report. Here we go. Chatbot, Doug. You can pull this one up if you've got it in front of you with all your internet issues. But a chatbot named Tessa was going to replace the National Eating Disorder Association's helpline employees. They fired their 6 employees and 200 volunteers. The employees who did the chat line fired them. Apparently, it was sort of a union busting move, perhaps, but others said it was not that. But anyway, the chatbot has been encouraging calorie restriction and other unhealthy behaviors that it was designed to advise against. So it has not been helpful at all on the health line. Let's see. Tessa had told one activist that try to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week by having a calorie deficit, cutting down on processed and high sugar foods, and doing weekly weigh-ins. And the article, if you've got it up, actually shows a little screenshot of the chat here. I don't see it. There it is. Oh, there we go. Very good. This is the next one. Next, scroll down, Doug, from there.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So the conversation itself, and if you obviously not everyone can see it if you're listening on the podcast, but it's a conversation between this woman who I guess is on the site. Now my thing's reloading. Sorry, we're having slow technical stuff today. Are you able to read it, Doug?
This is from the person. I can't afford a nutritionist. You said if I lose weight slowly, that can be healthy. How many calories would I need to cut per day to lose weight? And then the chatbot says it's important to note the number of calories cut per day for weight loss varies from person to person and depends on variety, age, yada yada. A safe daily calorie deficit to achieve this would be 500 to 1,000 calories per day. However,
Okay.
I highly recommend consulting with a registered dietitian, yada yada.
Okay, so when I read this in Morning Brew, I thought, well, this is it is what it is, right? It's people liking to dump on the AI because everyone hates AI right now. Everyone's worried about their jobs getting lost or the civilization ending. So rightfully so, maybe worried about AI, and therefore, whenever there's a chance to make fun of AI and say how bad it is, the media will jump on it, and I predict a trend we'll see for the next year or so until we're just wiped out as a civilization. But I'm guessing what's going to keep happening. This is going to be the new Trump, basically. That AI will be the thing that just every media just talks about as a just complete disaster. Fair, Doug? Without getting into politics?
No comment there. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This doesn't seem that bad to me, to be honest. It almost, first of all, it sounds to me like the person is trying to set up the chatbot because they said if this is really the conversation, this is just what the screenshot that's on New York Post. But it says at the anti-diet plan, so they're crediting the person who shared this. They said, you said if I lose weight slowly, that can be healthy. How many calories would I need to cut per day to lose weight? Like they're asking this question, right? And then the thing gives them an answer. And I don't think 500 to 1,000 calories per day of a deficit is, maybe that's a kind of aggressive. I don't really know how this works, but I don't think that's like, I don't know. Maybe that is a high number, like a high deficit. But then this person got their answer, and then now they go and run with this and put it on their site and say, "Look, this thing's giving this advice." They baited it. They asked for this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like it's probably not an unhealthy approach to losing weight if you're a healthy eater and have a good relationship with food. My guess is that where this is problematic is that if people are obsessing over calories in a negative way um, or kind of calorie restriction in a negative way, then further encouraging it might
Right.
not be the right approach instead of I don't know, using other tactics. I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about this hotline, so I don't know who they're talking to, but I think
Right.
that's the problem. Is not the advice probably isn't that bad unless you're calling into a eating disorder hotline.
Right.
Right.
And yeah, and I thought about that too. Like in this context, I'm sure the thing should have been programmed or whatever, at least biased towards saying if someone asks about calories, you need to say calories aren't the right approach for you, right? If you think you have an eating disorder, you shouldn't be trying calorie reduction or calorie restriction.
Mm-hmm.
There are other things you should do, or address some other issue first. I don't know, but like I get that the machine Tessa should have answered this differently, but the
Yeah.
person asked a question asking for this advice, and then they went and took that advice and said, "Okay, look what they did." Right? It's not like this was just a. I mean, I guess they're raising the issue here that if someone had come to this asking for calories, asking about calories, the thing would have steered them in a bad direction. But I still think
Yeah.
they kind of set it up because then they took that. They weren't really asking, I don't think, because otherwise they wouldn't have taken that answer and run to social media with it and said, "Look what they told me." I think
Right.
instead
Right.
they would have just taken the advice.
Well,
And
I mean, I think that's been a lot of the call outs on AI, the problematic stuff that they've discovered in different with Bard or with ChatGPT has been people trying to bait it, right?
mhm,
But what I think it does is it highlights the potential problems, right? Of someone who isn't trying to bait it, but just kind of says, "Hey, I do calorie restriction. Like, is that a problem?" And Lucy or whatever her name is writes back and says, "No, it's not a problem." But
yeah,
really, they're
right,
talking about two different things. And so, yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying about the media is just kind of running with something that's probably that they set up or create an issue that they may have created, but I think it highlights a weakness in all of AI. And as Lucy B says in the chat here, AI is is in this context is disaster, and that's right. I think that if you're trying to the new AI will never have, at least currently, it does not have the nuance of understanding situations and understanding especially problematic situations, and addressing on a human level how to
mhm,
address how to deal with certain complex issues, mental and physical issues that people have. And so it's just not going to be good at doing that. And so
right,
unless you want stock answers, unless you want kind of formulaic answers like this, which is not bad advice for a healthy person, then you're just going to keep running into this problem.
right. Now, for a second, Doug, you used the word "never." You said AI will never, and then you caught yourself,
I
and
did. I
then
did
said,
catch myself
But then
because
Lucy,
it's
has written, I'm a mental health professional, so no bias whatsoever, clearly. And my opinion is AI will never be a viable substitute.
yeah.
So
Well, so
I
she's
mean,
saying never.
I think
I roll back the never.
I need it. Lucy B, I think you're burying your head in the sand here. AI is coming for you and your job and everyone's job. Uh, there's no stopping it. I mean, it's going to replace anything like that. So
I mean,
get working on next career.
I think it's got a really long way to go.
Yes, I do too. I think it's got a long way to go, and maybe most of us will be, of retirement age, whatever that even means nowadays. I don't know. By the time this is replacing, these jobs that we say right now will never be replaced. But I don't know. I think there's a lot. I think a lot of people are.
Well,
So
I mean, the
Lucy
other
B
thing is
doesn't mean
like,
never.
can a AI bot learn enough about you and your situation to give you advice that's relevant to you? Right? I guess like a long enough prompt back and forth, it might be able to do that. But
Sure.
if you're texting into an eating disorder helpline, like I just don't think that they're ever going to be able to. At least not right now. There's a long way to go before they could give you real advice.
But
And so
same with a person, right? If a person, they have to talk a long back and forth prompting.
Sure,
To
yeah, but they're willing to know what questions to ask and kind of how to take a
and you think
conversation.
the AI is not able to do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Not yet. Okay,
Not yet.
fair enough. All right, we'll see.
I will agree with Lucy B here that AI in this context is a complete disaster, and that this is a huge embarrassment for this hotline.
Yeah, agreed. Totally.
Mhm.
All right. Next one. Sorry, not ready with the trigger here. Plant Plus Foods, which is a joint venture between a beef producer in Brazil, the second largest one, and U.S. agribusiness ADM. So it's not a like vegan organization or anything like that. They have predicted that demand for alt meat, meaning the plant-based meats we talk about all the time, as food inflation relaxes and vegan products become more affordable, tastier, and offer more variety, will grow to the tune of $30 billion in a decade compared to the current $2 billion mark. Plant Plus, by the way, has they've acquired allergen-free veggie burger brand Hillary's and Canadian plant-based meat company Soul Cuisine, and they have partnerships in Brazil. So this is one of these big meat companies taking the other side than I am and saying plant meat, not dead at all, set to 15x in the next decade. So
that's a bold move. That's a bold statement. That's like 2020 predictions right there.
Yeah, right. And from a meat company that's certainly entrenched in the meat business. So
yeah,
this is I'm glad to hear that. I'm not rooting against this stuff. I don't think it has a good chance, but we'll see. NotCo, Doug, going down to Chile for you. I know you like Chile stories. NotCo has announced that they're going to appeal against the ruling that prohibits the use of NotMilk's trademark in Chile. And apparently what's happening, some group called Approval, which is the Valdivia Dairy Farmers Union, has said unfair competition, taking advantage of milk's prestige with this trademark, calling it NotMilk. They're saying if you use the strategy uses the word milk to sell the product and at the same time disqualifies natural milk by saying it's harmful to health and the environment, then it's for whatever reason invalid, unfair, and the court has ruled in favor of the dairy union, saying you can't do anything that contains a cow or a figure typical of the dairy industry, incised, inverted, or in any other way altered. So coming down strongly on the side of dairy here, saying you just can't put milk in your name. You can't show a picture of a cow. None of that. How do you respond, Doug, as a pro-Chile guy?
Not pro-Chilean government necessarily, but I don't know. I think this is a mistake. I think it's pretty clear. It says not milk right in front of it, not dulce de leche. I have the image up here. It's pretty clear. I think this is a mistake.
I mean, of all of them, right, there's a lot of maybe gray area. Like you said, says not milk, right? I mean, what else do you want? I guess not isn't a Chilean or a Spanish word.
Yeah.
So it should be no milk or something like that. Or no S milk. But
what's tacha? What's tacha mean?
So do you have it pulled up?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This, I think, below that picture says recently the Chilean company launched a marketing campaign in Argentina called Not Cow. And that shows this cow with the thing crossed out. So I'm guessing this is an Argentinian ad. You know how they have weird Spanish words or strange
they do, yeah.
that aren't Spanish that you or I have learned, or anyone except Argentinians. If Juliana was here, she could tell us. But there's two words there that I don't know what sort of form they are in.
Google Translate says it's blemish, but I don't think that's
blemish. What you don't want, but even that word,
like cross out what you don't want, like eliminate what you don't want.
But the you want word is even not the normal one. Right? That should be quieres, and it's
you're right.
Who knows? But
we need Juliana.
We need Juliana for sure. We'll get to the bottom of this and revisit tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll revisit on the Friday show, which is going to be different and fun. This will be what we're going to do. Spend the whole time talking about that.
Yeah. All right, so that is it. That's your weather report, all done. And I picked out quite an article today to follow up the one about disordered eating.
That's right. Yes.
Believe me, I looked all over the place to find an article that wasn't this one. I wanted to find just a good plant-based article. I couldn't find anything. Nothing. Again, just nothing in the news at all. Veg News updated, or they had a different take on that burger thing we mentioned yesterday, Yelp's top 100 burgers in the U.S., where we picked out that Slutty Vegan was number 3, and there was one that was number 12. Apparently, 20% of the 100 are like vegan or vegetarian burger places, which is pretty significant to me. That a burger, which is the quintessential non-vegan food, that 20% of them are vegan or vegetarian. That's a pretty big deal.
That is a big deal. I wonder how they rank that. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, I wondered that too. But even if it is totally fair guessing, it's like any election, right? Where like the votes maybe get split. If it wasn't like ranked voting, if it was just like pick your favorite, then the votes get split among omnivores, and all the vegans pick the only vegan place in town, and I think that helps. That's just my guess. I have no idea. Anyway, what we've got here is from Eat This Not That. We don't ever really talk about weight loss articles in this show, not because like I think it's wrong or I'm opposed to it, but it's just not really of interest. And I think in general, weight loss strategies aren't the same as health strategies. Although, I mean, I think being overweight is usually not healthy. I hope I can say that fairly. Anyway, but the articles, people who lost 10 pounds in a month reveal their best tips. So I looked at it, and they're tips that I really like for general health. So that's why I said this is a good spin on weight loss, and it is heading into summertime. It's June 1st. People are thinking about this. There's no denying that. So I figured hitting a list of 7 healthy tips, and we can say that some may not be healthy. I don't know. Would be appropriate.
Weight loss. There, Doug? Yeah. So of all the 8 interviews that are for Plantapalooza, weight loss with Plantable Kiki was by far the most popular.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Both in engagement from email and also listens and downloads. So it's on people's mind.
Right. That doesn't make it the right topic to talk about. And I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm fine with it, but like that's why weight loss stuff is content and has this bad rap, right? Because it is what sells. It is what gets clicks, because it's just people who are interested in it. They always are. But unfortunately, a lot of the advice is not good. But anyway, I like this. So they got this by going to TikTok, of all places, was how they found the content here. They went to TikTok to tried and true tips from people who just lost 10 pounds in a month, or who lost 10 pounds in 1 month. But in addition, they spoke with experts who shed light on these tips and why they're effective. So they say losing weight's a unique journey for everyone. Kind of a disclaimer here. Anyway, here we go. Number 1, eating more whole foods and fewer processed foods. I mean, maybe the best health tip you can have, fitness aside. But as far as food goes, I would say this is the most important thing, right? If you're going to follow one healthy eating tip for the rest of your life, this is the way to maximize your health, in my opinion, right? Not even talking about animals, plants, whatever. If you eat whole foods, you're going to be way healthier than if you eat tater tots and corn chips and whatever else Doug likes to eat in his free time, not on his normal diet. When you're relaxing, kicking back, taking some time off, you eat some of these snack foods.
that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, your snack foods are really pretty healthy. I mean, tater tots and corn chips, not the worst snacks you could have. There's a lot worse things. You could have blueberry pancakes wrapped around a sausage. I saw that one today. That's a frozen food.
Hey, berries.
Anyway,
I'm telling you, Matt, there's like something. Did someone have a conversation with you or something? You're kind of rolling back all the blows to to me. I don't know. It feels kind of weird. I don't know how to react to it.
Nah, I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm just more open now. I'm not opposed to these things. They're just fun to keep the content light, good.
Yeah.
Little banter, little arguing.
No,
it is all in jest, of course. Anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
So we good there. I mean,
yeah, whole foods over processed foods. Yeah, makes total sense.
And I guess it's a weight loss tip, right? Like it's not the first thing I think of when I think about weight loss, because I still think caloric restriction when I think weight loss. But this would be one way to restrict your calories. If you just switch to whole foods, you're pretty much automatically going to be taking in fewer calories. And I know you could get around that if you tried, but you're not going to take it as many.
Filling up on, You know what? What's kind of interesting is I was talking to someone who is on a weight loss diet right now that uses a series of bars and like shakes and stuff like that, that kind of thing. And it's all about calorie restriction. But those things, they're loaded with like vitamins and and stuff. They're trying to like make a meal out of a shake and a bar, but man, they're just like, it's all junk.
Yeah.
Just crazy what it is that people that they're eating. What you're replacing whole foods with, or potentially whole foods or real food, with these kind of these junk bars and shakes. And I understand it's about calorie restriction, and they're trying to like give you a full nutritional meal with half the calories. But I don't know. It's just kind of wild how that's how the weight loss industry has gone.
Yeah, it is really weird. You're right. And I mean, which I think would be okay if like that was just the effective way to lose weight and people understood that like you do this, but it's not advised to do this for a long term because it's not really healthy food. But I think a lot of people they lose the weight and then they sort of, or at least they lose some of the weight. And then for the rest of their life, they like hold this thing up as the ideal way to eat in their head. So then like now and then they work those shakes and those bars into their daily diet. And it's just like, it's just so much worse than just eating whole foods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I could ask more. I am really curious about those things. Just because it's so strange that if Whole Foods is so good at helping people lose weight, or if in theory it should be, that so is stuff like this that isn't Whole Foods at all.
Well, I think like with this program, and I don't know that much about it, but with this program, it's more like eat exactly this, and it's going to restrict your calories to this amount, and you're probably going to lose weight, right? And then there was like some flexibilities with dinner and stuff like that, and a lot of restrictions on what you could and couldn't eat during dinner. But your breakfast and lunch and your snack were all of these like prepackaged bars and shakes, and so it's basically having complete control over your diet for the most part, and then that will help ensure that you lose weight. Whereas if you just said like, hey, Whole Foods, I think there's too much.
Yes, right. That's a really good point. So it's not so much about that they have picked out the healthiest foods. It's just that by giving you these foods only, you automatically are going to be reducing calories. And then if you do that, it doesn't matter what you're actually eating as far as weight loss. Yeah, that's very true. Mr. Jeffrey jokes here. Tip 1 on this list should be contact the Lucy chatbot, because Lucy is has the mental health line, I guess. So he's as if she's been replaced by the chatbot already. Or maybe he's not talking about Lucy B. Maybe he's talking about the Tessa chatbot back from the weight loss story. I'm guessing that's what it is. I thought he was referring to.
Yeah. I think so.
Because Lucy was worried about herself being replaced by a chatbot. Okay. Also, side note, Aaron says a friend just gave the kids a vegan Reese's for them to try. Do you want to take a bite on the morning show? No, I'm not going to take a bite on this
Friday episode.
Show. Friday episode, I will report on it. Maybe I'll take a bite on the show. Doubt it, but maybe. Anyway, okay, on to the next. We'll go fast here because we're running out of time. Cooking healthy homemade meals. That's number 2. Again,
I think this probably has a lot to do with those whole foods versus processed foods. Similar.
Sort of the same thing. That when you cook at home, you're not really going to be doing a whole lot of processing. It's definitely possible to make your foods using processed ingredients, but you're going to use less. They mentioned specifically butter and oil here, that when you cook at home, you're going to just use fewer of those things because you realize how much is going in. And restaurants, if they're not concerned about health, they're just going to put lots more in because they're going to make the food taste better up to a point. So you control those things, and that's good. Number 3, meal prepping. And the point here is if you prep your meals ahead of time, then your food's planned for you. That's going to prevent you from just craving something and then making or just grabbing something that is not made for you. So it's a little bit different from often the meal prep advice is like, here's how you save time with cooking and here's how you make it practical, prep all your meals in advance. This isn't really that. This is more saying have your stuff ready so that you're not likely just going to make a different choice. And that's a good tip.
Yep.
Number 4, interesting one here. Performing strength training and lifting weights. So I was surprised. You always think of cardio as like the weight loss thing because it burns more calories per minute or per hour than the strength training does. But they say that muscle burns 3 times more calories at rest than fat. So the point here is to build muscle so that you kind of make a machine that is more efficient and can lose weight while you sleep, basically. So maybe a little bit of a curve there. You're not going to immediately start getting the benefits, but after a week, 2 weeks, you start to put on some muscle, you'll be able to eat a little bit more food and still lose weight. Doug? dissent of
Sounds
opinion
good.
or anything? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, number 5. Now we're into the this is the eating disorder, red zone maybe. Tracking food. I don't know if this is a thing that is people say is not good anymore. Or not healthy, I guess, as a behavior. But people are saying research has shown that the people who record what they eat lose twice as much weight as those that don't. And that's not really surprising to me, at least in the short
No.
term, that if you're keeping track of things, it's, what did they say? What gets measured gets managed or something like that. What you pay attention to usually moves in the right direction if you pay close enough attention and actually do keep paying attention to it. Long term, though, I don't really think this is a good way to eat, and I don't think people would necessarily lose twice as much weight as those that don't if you're talking about a 10-year time horizon. But I don't even know.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I think that if you want to make changes with anything, food, fitness, reading, anything, tracking it is a good way to do that. And see, just because it holds you accountable, it kind of encourages you to do a little bit more than you probably would if you weren't doing it. So, I mean, I'm all about tracking, and I'm sure it's effective with losing weight. But in the short term, like you said.
Yeah, tracking, we go often back to the heart rate monitor thing with running. It's just, there's a lot of things that are really good for a little while, and you learn things about yourself and you learn how it works, and you're motivated and you improve, and then you don't need to do that anymore because now you understand how it works and you want a little bit more of a balance in the way you go about doing things. So that's generally my approach when it comes to tracking. Number 6, finding the best workouts for your body. Someone mentions here that, I think this is good. Someone mentioned their first year postpartum, they did hot Pilates religiously, and it was so tiring. They didn't like it. They didn't see results. Then they started strictly lifting weights, and then suddenly saw lots of progress. Similarly, they say if you don't like running, it may burn more calories than walking, but you're just not going to do it for very long. I mean, like long term, if you don't like it. And I really do think that is true. The only thing here, though, Doug, you said you like this one, and I do too. It's easy to do the stuff that feels good and that's easy because
that's
right?
Yeah.
Because it's easy, but that might not be what's necessarily best for you. So there's a balance, right? You need to find something that's enjoyable enough to keep doing it, but it shouldn't just be so easy that it's just, pure joy. It probably should be a little hard unless you have a very long time horizon for your weight loss. It should be work, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. But I don't know if that's what it's saying. It's not saying take the easy route. It's saying that find the best workouts for your body that will be most effective for your body, right?
Yeah, you're right. But then they go the don't enjoy running thing and say if you don't like it, you're not going to do it.
Okay.
I don't know. You can't just go play pickleball and expect to lose weight, right? I mean,
some people might be able to.
It's just not enough. Maybe if you had a very low baseline of activity, maybe, but it's just not. I don't know. It's too much fun to be a weight loss tool. All right.
Weight loss tools can be fun too.
I don't think so. If they were, everyone would have lost all the weight because they would have just go to this thing that's fun.
Well, I don't know. Trampolines are fun, right? That's good.
Yeah, trampoline parks are not fun. I guess you like trampoline parks, right?
Yeah, I've had a good time at trampoline parks.
Wait till you go to 10 birthday parties in one summer at them. And your kids always want you to jump, and you do it a couple times, and then you're like, I cannot go to another trampoline park.
All right.
All right. Last one. Walking 3 miles daily. You don't hear this tip a lot. We hear 10,000 steps all the time. I don't think they talk about steps here. 3 miles is what, 15,000 feet, which is about maybe 5,000 steps or a little less than that.
Yeah. I think we said 10,000 steps was 5 miles, roughly.
Yeah. So this will get you halfway there. And if you walk 3 miles daily, do a 3 mile walk, then your other steps in the day are going to probably get you to the 10,000. We've seen the 10,000 goal questioned whether or not it's really means anything, but this is a nice tip. How long does it take to walk 3 miles though? That's kind of a long time. That's probably an hour, right?
Yeah. 20 minutes a mile. That's probably about right.
It's a long time.
That is a long time.
I enjoy walking and listening to podcasts, but every now and then I'll be on a vacation and I'll be like, I'm going to walk to that thing. It's only that far away. It takes forever to do that. It feels like an eternity to walk for an hour. I mean, I like it. Like I said, I like to move. I've done plenty of running. I understand how it works. It's not like I can't tolerate it. It just,
Right.
for some reason, when it's walking, I guess, especially, it just seems to drag on forever and ever. So if you can do that, good for you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've never, and walking every day for an hour would be a lot for me.
Yeah.
I'd
But
rather
if
be
you,
running
but
or about riding
right.
my bike.
Yeah.
And I got
But
a
for a lot
need
of
for
people,
speed.
I know you do, Doug. That's true. All right. So that's that. I think I said that again. There we go. Now I'm conscious of this. You know what? Thank you, Mr. Jeffrey. Point out these little ticks. It's good. It will improve my broadcasting ability. So I'm all for it. Lucy B had an interesting comment here. We didn't lose her yet. I was worried we were going to lose you, Lucy, after I said you need to go start studying for a new profession. I feel bad about that. I don't really mean that. I just mean 20-year timeline. Never say never. She says doctors aligned with Chef AJ say that exercise has no bearing on weight loss. And I don't know if that's true, but I do agree. If you're trying to lose weight, I would say, well, depending on your condition and all that, but I would say you probably don't need to exercise at first. And it adds to the amount of, willpower that you're draining in addition to your diet. Diets can have the much bigger impact. I think 80% of the impact can be had by just taking in fewer calories. And it doesn't have to be like, eating the kit that Doug was talking about earlier. It can be eating good whole foods, but I just think that's the way to lose weight. And then if you want to exercise and you enjoy it, then yes, do it. But if it's just dreadful to you, I wouldn't worry about that because it's gonna make you quit your your program.
Yeah. I mean, I think nutrition certainly has the bigger impact.
Yeah. So I don't disagree with Chef AJ there. Although I don't know about no bearing. I mean, I would think if you are able to add exercise in, I would think that it actually would cause you to lose weight in addition. But I don't know. Haven't seen data, and perhaps Chef AJ and these doctors have. So who knows? All right. Let's see. Anne-Marie says, I agree with the tracking. Yeah. She was part of a study with people who kept off weight for 5, 10, 20 years, and tracking is one of the habits. So even for the long term, I think. So that's very interesting. She also says, wait until you're older. You'll change your tune on walking. Yeah, I don't mean to doubt at all that it's a bad activity. My mom walks all the time, and I'm extremely grateful that she has found that and does it. Yeah, it's just boring. But I guess when you get older, maybe it's less boring. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lucy B says her job security is good. I like to hear that.
Mr. Jeffrey says you can't exercise your way out of a bad eating, but it's certainly not no effect. I think that's right. Yeah, you can't just exercise if you're just replacing all those calories with junk food.
Right. But do we know it's certainly not no effect? I actually don't know. I mean, it burns calories, so you think that's going to be an effect. But what if the very act of doing exercise forces you to eat more calories? Your body's just going to take more in to put that stuff back, so it ends up not being a weight loss tool. I don't know. I'd like to see what Chef AJ's rationale is there. All right, D1 to know adventure coach says I actually walk at least a 5K on breaks at work and cycle 20 or more miles 4 to 6 days a week. That's great. I need to do more of that kind of activity.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's great.
Yeah. And Warren Jones controversially says losing weight is just calories in, calories out. It's that simple. So yeah, exercise does make a difference. But what happens if the exercise changes your calories in? It causes you then your body to, you automatically, you just can't keep, you burn 250 calories walking and running, and then you just can't keep those calories out of your diet as a result. I don't know.
Mr. Jeffrey says he's living proof that it works. So
okay, there we go. N equals 1. That's all we need. Proof. Emery says listening to podcasts helps. That does certainly help. But also good to not listen to podcasts sometimes.
Yeah. All
right. Good. Well, that is it. That is our show today. It's 11:50.
Sorry for the tech issues earlier.
That's okay. No problem. People hung with us. Okay, so we are not obligated anymore to be back tomorrow, but we're going to.
We're going to keep making that very clear.
Yeah, right. Don't get used to it. Just because it's Friday doesn't mean we have to be here, but we're going to. And what we said was that if we're not traveling or something, we did this to allow for some more 3-day weekends and some, whatever we end up doing. Just ease things up a little bit for summertime. But if we're here on Friday, if it's not a problem for us to do it, we're going to do the show, but we're going to try to do it differently. So tomorrow we are doing it We're doing Q&A. Ask me anything. AMA, whatever you want to call it. It's basically us answering questions. So put those in the Discord, nomeathlete.com/Discord. I forgot to put a note in there to tell people to ask those questions, so I'll do that today.
Do that today.
But of course, you can also ask them on the show itself. That's fine. You can do it live. We won't have a net. We'll see it for the first time. Answer the question. Hopefully, not get ourselves in trouble or anything. But that'll be good. I think it'll be a nice time as long as there are questions. If there aren't questions, it won't be good. And then we're not going to be encouraged to keep coming back on Fridays. So it's up to you. Fate of the show is in your hands. Okay. A couple people saying good show today. I thought it wasn't that good. I thought it was a little weird with the tech issues and then weight loss, having to tiptoe around eating disorders. But I guess people like that. Me saying Doug eats junk food at one point, saying I'm twice the runner Doug is. Now Doug's frozen on YouTube. But I hear he's there on Instagram. All right, doesn't matter. We're gonna wrap up there because I'm just not hearing Doug on.
Okay.
On
can you hear me?
Now I can. You're good. All right, that's it. We'll be back.
Thanks everybody.
We'll be back tomorrow, Friday, June 2nd, and enjoy your Thursday. Don't forget, it's a good day, Doug. Enjoy your Thirsty Thursday. I hope you do get to go out this Thursday and actually go enjoy it. Because
no plants palooza, baby. So I'm good.
You gonna have twice as much fun as you would have and make up for lost time?
No, because it's a race week. I don't want to be tired.
Oh
tomorrow.
Man,
I know. Poor planning.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll check in. We'll hear how that goes tomorrow, and then hear about the final race preparations.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.